Hey guys, XJ9 here, and today's gonna be a video about what I think about Brighter Shores in the current state. I wanted to make a video when the game's like actually done, like it's not out in this beta pre-release state. But I see a lot of people on the Steam discussion forums talk about how a lot of YouTube content creators, like I'm not sure if it's old school people or not, but a lot of people seem to be trash talking this game out, like old school is better or RuneScape 3 is better, right? And I don't understand why that's part of their like why they would even say that, because you should really judge a game for what it is instead of comparing it. Like people are comparing this game to a game that has had decades to grow and have new content, and there's also two different versions of the game, and that the more popular version, the old school RuneScape version, had the learnings from RS3, at least at the start, right? Controversies aside, but it's kind of weird that like they're like, oh, just go play RuneScape. Why are you playing this game? But it's like I don't even really enjoy RuneScape personally anymore. I just think the combat is really imbalanced. Like it's too easy. It's too mind numbing. It's just like it's not what the game used to be back in like 2016, for example. Even though 2016 had flaws, it was better in a better state than it is now in RuneScape 3. Old school RuneScape, I don't play this because of third party. Like this game has so many things going for it that I personally like. Like, what do I like about this game, guys? Okay, let's start talking about what I like. But because but I'm just saying, I just don't dislike that a lot of people are like, oh, this guy with like 40,000 subscribers, 30,000 views, oh, they're just trash talking this game. Why bother? But like, why should you bother playing this game? Let's just say that first, and then I'll say why I like the game. Although it's kind of, I guess, the same, honestly. Like, first off, right now there's no microtransactions. Personally, I wouldn't mind cosmetic microtransactions, but it's a slippery slope because then what companies tend to take advantage of is instead of making in-game cosmetics like new armor, better looking armor, it's always just MTX. So who knows if it will even get that? But Andrew Gower himself literally just said there's going to be no MTX whatsoever apparently. So we'll see how that goes. But what other things do I like? I like the combat system. The combat system has a rule that I think should be in R3. Not old school RuneScape. I don't like when people compare old school RuneScape combat to R3 combat. In this game, once you start a fight, you cannot swap any weapons you currently have on. What you brought to the fight, that current encounter, is what you are taking to that encounter. You have three different specials. The specials aren't done right now, but again, you'll have three different types of weapons: a main hand, a 2H, and a crossbow, or a ranged weapon rather. And you can choose, oh, do I want to use a certain special for this fight? And these are things I want in RS3 where like I don't like swapping RS3. I think it just encourages macros, it encourages cheesy dummy stuff, etc. etc. And for this game not to have that, like that's just what I would want. So I'm supporting this game. Uh, I also want to say that quickly, this game's only $6 a month to play, right? With the members, it's free to play, and a big again, getting level 500 in all free to play skills, bro. That'll take honestly, I think over a year or even like a year. Honestly, that's crazy for free to play. That's how much content there is, and also there'll be more quests and everything, right? So what else do I want to say? Oh, and I don't like that some people are like, oh, the $6 isn't worth the money, right? But it's like you're investing in the game. Like I'm supporting Andrew Gower. I support Andrew Gower. I support what he wants out of a game. Like wow, no multi boxing, aka no multi clienting. That's crazy. RuneScape 3. Again, I actually do feel like multi clienting is actually what kills games. I'm not lying. I think it's so bad it should be banned from our street or just a separate server where you cannot use multiple clients because it ruins the whole economy. Um, what else does this game have that artistry does? I mean, those are like the two big ones. Another interesting take I don't really care too much about, but you can choose whether or not you want to be anonymous from the leaderboards or even the whatchamacallit, in game. Like people can just choose to hide their name, just play anonymously, which is pretty interesting. If you ask me, again, like I don't care for that, but like it's an interesting take. Like again, with the leaderboards, if you get the number one guard, like 500 guard, you're there forever. Even if you stop playing the game or don't have a subscription, you're just there forever. Or even if you turn off your subscription or your visibility, you're there forever. So like, there's no fear of missing out. There's a lot of people in RuneScape 3 that are probably still subscribed just to keep their spot on a leaderboard. That honestly, I don't think anyone even cares. Like, I don't even care about leaderboards in this game personally. Uh, but I understand people care for that. So yeah, just like how I don't care about PvP in like these type of games, but I know people care about that, and I know PvP is important for a game like this. I also know leaderboards are important for a game like this, but I personally don't care. Um, what else? So the game is pretty interesting. Like, let's start talking about like the game's core mechanics and people's maybe gripes. So the first 20 levels in every skill is honestly pretty fast. It takes about an hour to 2 hours depending if you know what you're doing slash the skill you're doing. But it's pretty much like a tutorial version of it. Like, it's very accelerated experience gains, as in like compared to the post 20 to 200 grind. And after you hit level 20, that's when the XP I think is dramatically increased. Like, you need a lot more experience just to hit a level, and that's fine. Like, a lot of people like complain about that. They're like, "Oh, like why should it be like that?" But it's like it's about the journey. It's not about who gets this or I need to get max everything. It's like, bro, the highest level of in a quest requirement I think is like 69 cooking or 65. It's something like that. There's nothing even that high right now. He does want to make higher level quests. He has said this on even the news post. But it's like people gain 500 guards. Like, okay, you have 500 guard, but like, what are you gonna do? I mean, again, if something you want to do, great. Because personally, for me, I'm going for 500 watchman, 500 detective, and it's just kind of like a yeah, see what happens. After that, I don't think I would play the game as much as I probably do now. I mean, it's like because I'll be honest, the biggest reason I'm leveling detective and guard so much is because it's super AFK. Haha. With the crime dead raids, I think if it wasn't that AFK, I'd be significantly lower. So it's probably this is I think a good game to play, like just waiting for something, like what, I'm cooking some dinner in the oven. Let's play this game for 30 minutes. Like, it's a nice thing just to play, and you can AFK for 24 hours and get like 2 levels every day. It's just a nice game. Like, an interesting take with knowledge points. So if you see my knowledge points in the bottom right, it's very small. I know I can make it bigger if you want. Like, their knowledge 8% experience. Once that fills up, 5 points into a skill, or like I think it's like 4.5. But let's just say 5 points. 5 points into a skill will level up a skill at level 20. So this level 20 scout, if I put 5 knowledge points into it, like I level up my knowledge 5 times, I'll get to 21, and that's actually quite strong. When you hit level 200, I believe it takes about 15 knowledge points to hit a level. So what ends up happening is AFKing at 200 plus becomes stronger, because based off my short observations and testing, AFKing is like, if you AFK, like, oh, I'm at 55 guard. If I AFK at 55 guard for 2 hours, I'll get 2 levels, right? But if I'm 200 guard, like, let's say I'm 210 guard, and I AFK something for 24 hours, I'll go from 200 guard to 212 guard. And it makes it so the AFKing is actually stronger at level 200 skills, and knowledge points are stronger uh, to on level 20 to 200 skills. Like, to get up the skill from level 20 to 200. And you know, my opinion about this game has been changing quite rapidly. And I think the purpose for that is, one, to make, if you're focusing on a skill and want to get up, you can actually train a skill quite fast. Because again, I have 200 watchwoman and detective, right? Like 200, like 20, I think. But I haven't been putting any points into it. I've been putting into other skills just because I want to do, I want to do the quest. So I got like 50 alchemy and stuff. But if I put it into watchwoman or in detective, I'd probably be like 270 detective or watchwoman, right? But I don't care for that. It's also not that, I don't think it's that good personally to put points into 200 skills because of how the XP curve works. But it is better if you're rushing up, obviously. Uh, but it's a pretty interesting dynamic. So I'm not on my main right now, but let's just say right now I pretend this is my account. I have 220 Watchwoman Detective, and let's just say I'm going for 500, which I am. I can level up all my skills. Like getting level 500, that's a lot of knowledge points. Okay, so I can put a lot of points into my skills and get them up from level 20. And I think you might say, oh, that's kind of weird because you're skipping content, right? Because like, oh, you can get 500 Watchman Detective and have like 60 in all skills, or like focus on Scout and get like 150 Scout. But I think the reason that is the case is, you know, I'm gonna say, let's say I got 500 Watchman Detective. I have the best armor. I look cool. I do so much damage. I make so much gold. The purpose of it, I think, is okay. I finished it. What's next? And instead of like, let's just say knowledge points did not exist. All of a sudden, I have to go back to 20 mining and get like 800 bronze or 1 silver a kill, down from like 11 to 15 plus silver a kill I'm getting with my 200 plus, or if we just say 500 watchmen. If it would just feel bad. However, if you're focusing a skill, which I think is also probably the better tactic in the game right now currently, which is kind of interesting, you can get your scout to, I don't say, I probably really close to 200, maybe even get it to 200. And then, oh, I'm done with Watchwoman Detective. Let's start that level 200 Scout grind, and then you can get the AFK rates and start AFK and get to two levels a day, and you can get those big 10 silver a kill. And I think it's meant to make you not feel like garbage after you finish a skill. And the big theme of this whole game to me is play how you want to play, have fun, which is a really interesting take because, like, again, I just kind of just like, I think that's the point of knowledge, personally, because some people are pointing out like, oh, but isn't it better just to focus the skill? But like, it probably is, but like, it's more so like if someone wants to level up to all 100 skills and then level up to 200 all skills, they can do that. And yeah, sure, it might be a little bit less inefficient, but like, this game doesn't like make you feel bad. I don't think like it kind of just wants you to do what you want to do. Like that's the whole theme. Like you can train Watchwoman and get to 200 alchemy. Like I hate alchemy. You can train it, and like it's pretty interesting because like people in old school RuneScape, uh, for instance, rune crafting is super unpopular, right? But let's just say that Carpenter was the rune crafting in this game. You can train it to 200 if you want without even doing Carpenter, but you need to get to level 20, like the little tutorial you have to do, right? And it's just a really interesting take. Like it's not trying to make you do certain things, unless it's for a quest, of course, but like it feels sandboxy. Like I would even think of knowledge points as a daily challenge, except it fills up how you want it, as much as you want it. You can do anything, it'll fill up. And you don't feel like, oh, I have to log in every day. It's just, bro, you can AFK all the way to 500. Like, again, like, look at this count. It's 55 guard. I've AFK'd from 20 to 55 guard. It took me an hour and a half to get to 50 to 20 guard. I've just been AFKing. And I'm just, again, I'm just messing around these accounts, to be honest. Like, I'm just going to get the storage ability for my bank deposit, so I can just like skill better. Like I am progressing these accounts just for fun, but overall, like I'm not gonna play on these accounts. Probably I'm just AFKing. It's more of just a fun experiment, right? So I think people need to keep that in mind. That I don't think this game's trying to be super competitive. I'm not sure what that guy's doing. I don't think this game's trying to be like a super competitive game, or like a super like. I honestly don't think this game's really that competitive. I think it's just trying to be fun, give you satisfaction with leveling, talk to people. Again, this game needs a lot of chat rooms. Again, like if you look at the rules of this game, or where's the rules? Is it the rules? I don't think it's this. No, it's not this. I don't know where it is. I think it's update on the news section. I would have to log out for that. But essentially, if you scroll down, it says like we need to make episode 5. We need to make specials. We need to make PvP. We need to make a group party system. And once all these things are done, then it's an official game. And like so many people are just judging this game like it's done. Like this game isn't done. Like we weren't even supposed to see this game for like a whole year, but they wanted to give it to the players, let them play the game, let them test, let them be part of history, let them be part of the building of the game. And I just think it's so cool because you know how many people like go like, oh, I wish I played RuneScape Classic, oh, I wish I played the World of Warcraft when it was first released, but like so many people didn't do it, and whether it was because they were too young or thought it was bad, but meanwhile here's an opportunity to experience a game at it's a brand new game. You get to be part of the. You can give your feedback, you're part of history, and yet people say, "Oh, this is garbage." Oh, who would spend $6 for this? But like, bro, you're essentially like I'm giving my $6 to Andrew Gower out of I would support. Not like not for the content. The content is a bonus for me. I support him because game developers like him, no MTX. It's not. Oh, we got to make this money this quarter, this money this quarter. He doesn't care. Right now, this game is like literally like a holy grail in terms of game. Like this game has. Oh, I didn't trim this down. This game is a holy grail in terms of opportunity, and a lot of people just don't see it. And it's kind of like so many people I feel like just want to say they're like they'll say the obvious just get to like their inner points, like, oh, this game's trash, like, oh no, the combat's too simple, there's no group chat, but it's like, no duh, bro, it's not even a done game. And you have some people say, lol, they had 10 years, like, sometimes I think people just want to like just shout loud, and just feel like the smartest person in the room. So I mean, honestly, I kind of just wanted to really say this because I was really just discerning, or I don't know, I'm sure if that's the right word, but it's a little bit when you see people just like trash talk the game, because it's like for what it is, all these little details, like look at this, like me on RuneScape it's just like whack a hammer the whole time. Like like you actually see like the details, like them actually like doing it right. Like when you build a shield, you see the build the shield. You see when you build a hammer, you see you put the pole, you put the hammer in, and then you put the other hammer in, and like those little details actually add a lot to like the immersion and world building of the game. Meanwhile, again, like RuneScape, again, I'm comparing it to RuneScape, but I'm just saying that this game has so many things going for it for what a small 3 to 8 people working on this game at a time. It has done that so many things well that like I haven't even seen in other games that I don't understand why people are like criticizing the game when it's not even like done. Like, hey, bro, when the game's finished, like, hey, specials in the game. If combat's still lackluster, the or like whatever, fair play. I just don't think people should like. I can understand if you say, you know what, this game, yeah, like it has potential. I can understand like a viewpoint like that. I just dislike it when the viewpoint of people is always just like, oh, it's trash, don't play it. Old school RuneScape's better. It's like that's not a review of the game, bro. It really isn't. Like go play old school. I'm not saying old school's bad. I personally don't like old school. But it's like you shouldn't shit talk a game and be like, you know what, bro, Dark Souls is better than this game. You know what? World of Warcraft's better than this game. Like, why the heck am I playing this game? You know, and I'm gonna stop talking about that at that point because I think you get the point. At this point, haha. Let me get some. I cast my immunity here. I think I'm gonna try. So I guess that's really it. Just a little quick video about the state of the game. I've personally been having fun with the game, just pacing myself. I'm not trying to do anything. Oh, I forgot to buy a hatchet. I'm not trying to do anything fancy in this game, at all. Like, oh, get first this, first that, or whatever. Just having a good time, which I think is what gaming should be. I really wish people just enjoyed games for what they were instead of just comparing them all the time. I've been playing this game again, like 6+ hours a day, like every day. This game, it's just a really fun game to play on the side, you know. So maybe leave some comments below about maybe what you think about the game. Do you think people are being a little bit, I don't know, I guess unfair to the game? I really hope that this early access thing doesn't bite Andrew in the back. I don't think it will because I've seen a lot of games recover from bad releases, even though this isn't really a release. So I think it'll be fine. I think once PvP and specials enter the game with free trade and like actual group chats and clans, I think the game will be very, very solid. Let's go cast my immunity here. So, yeah, that's it. I hope I don't forget something that I wanted to say, but I did not say in this video. I don't think so. But I hope you understand why I was talking about with the knowledge points and such. Like, it's a very sandboxy game, guys. Don't take it too serious. Don't grind yourself to death. Just have fun. Okay? Okay. Bye.